Alright, I'm JD. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe. Please hit like. I'm flying in an H160 helicopter, my favorite chopper of all time. And I gotta get this thing making some noise here. So here I'm flying. I just flew by Bruce Pit. I think this is the pit here. So it's just a big gravel pit. So I'm flying down Route 7 if you're from this area of town. Down towards towards Carleton Place. This is the traffic towards Carleton Place, so it's a lot of cars. So what I want to do is fly by Carleton Place and have a look at it from the air as I go by. And I've got nobody flying with me today, but I do have some passengers in the back there that are not that agitated, which is great. And I just split off here. I gotta make sure I follow the right highway. And it's getting dark out. I may have to change the weather on this. So we're flying Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I'm using a Warthog throttle. It's basically and a Warthog stick, but I've got an AVA base on it, which the AVA base alone is $400, which makes the control of this helicopter really nice because of the AVA base. The only reason why. This is very accurate. What's depicted here, I drive down this road a lot, and they use Google Maps, I believe. Maybe they use Microsoft Bing for their maps, not sure. I think you can weave in Google Maps if you want to, and then use that instead. So here we're just going by through some dead zone. I should be getting pretty close to Carleton Place here. Should be coming up really soon. I'm going to lower myself a bit here. So just pull back on the throttle, and that lowers the aircraft. It acts like the cyclic and collective on a helicopter. So normally you'd have a constant torque. If you look over here and all these values, you'd have a constant torque, and you'd just be pulling up, and this H160, I believe, increases the torque from the engine as you pull up on the cyclic, on the collective actually. A lot of traffic. Wow. And I'm not using any air traffic control. I got the map on over here just so I can see where the heck I am. And it's pretty accurate because we did get snow today, and it's still snowing outside right now. So we get about we're going to get about 10 centimeters or 15 centimeters of snow, so it's not going to be too bad. Even this little lake this little puddle that we're moving up to right here, this puddle exists in real life. So they've mapped it perfectly. And now we're coming up to the intersection in Carleton Place. And there's a Canadian Tire down here. All kinds of box stores. That's a Canadian Tire, I believe, right there. And there's a gas station right around the corner here. I don't think they've modeled that properly. It looks pretty flat over here. That would be where the gas station is. And some other features. This is the main route, and we just pull it forward here. It's not perfect because they'd be taking Google Maps and using the 3D view and modeling everything perfectly. You can buy landscape, I guess, to add to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. That's very accurate, and for some of the bigger cities. I don't think this area would be for sale. So here is Route, I believe this is coming up to Route 15, I think. It goes towards, where does it go? Yeah, it is Route 15. And you go up a hill and around the corner. This is the way to my cottage. And we'll have a little flight. See some poor modeling there. The bridge is going right out of the side there, so that's not good. And we're going to hit Lake Mississippi in a second, and that's where my cottage is. So I'm going to fly into Lake Mississippi. So we got some side roads here. We're coming up to the first bridge. If you're from this area, you'll recognize the roads and stuff. And some of these houses are okay. They're not too modeled too bad poorly. Yeah. And there's a Department of Forestry building up here that's pretty nice. Don't think they modeled that one properly. So here's the lake. I think we're coming up to the lake here. Now if I follow the lake, let me think here. Yeah, if I follow the lake, I could just follow the lake all the way around and get to where my cottage is. So let's do that. So there's supposed to be a bridge right here. I'm just following the road here. The water's up ahead. You can see it. You just pull the aircraft up a bit here. And this is what it looks like. And I got my landing gear up. Down, I should have my landing gear up. Okay, here's the lake. So let's just get into the lake here. Now I've taken my boat down here, and there's nice visuals here. I'm just going to follow the lake all the way to the cottage here, instead of following the highway. And it's pretty calm out today. I'm looking at the map right now. I think if I zoom in on the map, I'll have a better chance of... there we go. Zoom in a bit on the map. That way I can increase my airspeed here. So there's this crazy question on Facebook of someone put on there. It's that the jet is on a treadmill, and the treadmill can match the speed of the wheels, the landing gear turning on the jet, and the jet has engines running. Would the airplane take off? And there's a lot of people that say it would, and it wouldn't. And the short answer is it would not take off, because you wouldn't be getting any air over the wings to create lift. So the people, I basically called the people that said that it would take off stupid, just to get a reaction. And I got lots of reactions, including, why are you calling them stupid? Well, because they are. So an actual airline pilot popped into the conversation, and his assessment was correct. So if the jet engines are only going, if the treadmill and the friction from the treadmill is preventing the jet from taking off, it's pushing back on the wheels, and the wheels are matching the treadmill speed, then the engines are only going to go as fast as needed to keep the friction from the treadmill from pushing the aircraft off the back of the treadmill. You can go ahead and look at the question online there and see what you think, but it's kind of a silly question, but the answer is no, the aircraft would not take off. So some of these islands here, there's buoys on these islands, so I realized 2 years ago that the buoys mean something when I grounded my pontoon boat. Accidentally, I must say, but I was able to get it off the rocks. It just sort of jumped on one side onto some rocks, and I managed to get everybody to go on the other side of the pontoon boat, loosened it up, and the wind blew it back. So everything was fine at the end of the day, but I learned a lesson because I was new to boating. I only had a year under my belt, I think, with the pontoon boat, maybe 2 years. But anyway, so there's the island on the left-hand side. So you see this island. So there's two islands here. There's two little islands there. And there's a buoy between them, so don't try to go between them. And then there's an island, it's not showing here, but there's an island actually closer to this bigger island. And there's good fishing if you're looking straight at the island there's good fishing on the right-hand side of the island. and also depending on the wind direction, you can fish on any part of that island. But there's also, you can also get poison ivy on the island. There's a beach as well on the island. And the beach is, I'm going to pass right by, and I doubt if they've mapped. There's a little island there. There's that island there that had a buoy. And the beach is right there. So don't go on the island unless you want to get a bad case of poison ivy. So here we're flying up to McCreary's Beach Resort here, and I'll see if I can hover a bit and see if the buildings are there or how it modeled the resort. So I think I'm getting close to it. And the resort's got about 120 cottages. Give them a call, McCreary's Beach Resort. They're open for 6 months. They're seasonal. But there's lots of stuff for the kids to do there. Absolutely. There's a lot of people that have young kids there. So if you want to go to McCreary's and have some fun, they have fireworks a couple of times a year. I think 4 times a year they have fireworks. They slow down a bit too much here and get some forward speed. And they have all kinds of activities in the weekends for the kids. So a lot of people that have cottages are younger and have kids. I have grandkids that come to the cottage occasionally. And I love the boating and fishing. So I'm just going to pull up here and see if there's anything I recognize. There's McCullough's Landing on the left and McCreary's Beach Resort on the right. So my cottage is right in the front here. And the dock is out. So I have one of these cottages right in the front. And if I just pull over a bit here. So I'm right in the front right there. And if I move over, you can see the resort lodge is right there. That's the lodge in the front. And there's the beach. It's brown right now, but it's not properly rendered, but that's the beach. And there's some other cottages that are rendered here, and there's also basketball courts and all kinds of stuff. So that's a little trip to McCreary's Beach Resort. There's some cottages there. I might share this with the McCreary's folks so they can have a look at what they have. And if I go up the side here, there's a big, big house down below. There's some really nice cottages down here. And right in here as well. So we always kayak up to the point and then go inside. Just pull the aircraft around here. I might be able to land on the water if I put my floats out. What do you think? Let's see if I can land right in front of the cottage. Alright, slow the aircraft down a bit. I want to deploy my floats, put them on auto. I think they're on auto right now. We'll know when I crash. Alright, so I got the aircraft settling down. Yeah, okay, let's just see if I can settle the aircraft down here. Alright, I think we're in the water right now. Let me have a look. I'm just putting a little bit of pedal here. And it's sitting in the water, and the floats are under the water, but I've got my floats deployed. And it's allowing me to sit in the water, which is nice. Now, I think the other model of this aircraft actually shows the floats a lot better, but that's fine. So that's that, and there's the resort up ahead. I believe I can float it forward a bit. Oh, I think there's an issue because my landing gear is on as well. So if I just are able to bring my landing gear up, that might show the floats a bit better. It doesn't like the landing gear up. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I'm just going to take off here out of the water. That's McCreary's Beach Resort. If I've spotted your cottage, let me know. There's the road outside of the resort. And there's the road there. There's some very beautiful homes here. I love this home right here. It's a beautiful house. And this one here as well. And if I go a little further and go down the highway for a second, I'll show you a Carleton tool, C-O-R-D-O-N, I believe. Carleton tools. They're online and they're a great tool supplier. So let me just pull the aircraft around here. And the vehicle lights are kind of on right now. So Carleton tools is only 1 kilometer. See if I get my landing gear is up right now. I want to pull it down a bit. There, push my landing gear down. And Carleton tools is right there. That's it right there. And what a great place to find tools. Yep. There it is right there, Carleton tools. It'd be funny if they had the sign on the side. I'm getting a lot better at flying nowadays. I can hover nicely and not crash as much. I got it on realistic mode, so it's more difficult, but with the EVA base, it's a lot easier, and I've got a good set of all metal pedals, and nothing is cheap that I'm using, so it gives you a very realistic flight. I have flown a helicopter once before, and I've flown a few times in actual helicopter simulators. So back in the day, I'll say back in the day. And once you get the hang of it, even with Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, you could jump into a real simulator and do a lot. Trust me. I landed a C-27J perfectly on a runway, a C-27J in a simulator, and the guy, the chief pilot flight instructor, couldn't believe it. And I only had experience with Microsoft Flight Sim and X-Plane, but it's all about the feel. So here I'm driving towards the city of Perth, Ontario, and Perth is actually where my boat is stored. So we're gonna have a look at that. I'm telling everybody way too much, right? Good luck. So it's kind of neat with this program because you can go look at places you've lived. You can go. I've been to Italy a lot, and I can go to Italy and Arona, Italy, and have a look at what it looks like there. Have a look at the Torino. I've been to Torino many times over the years, and I've taken the flight simulator there, and it's bang on. It's very accurate. So here I'm flying towards the city of Perth. Looks like the street lights or street lamps are lit up now. I'm trying not to hit any trees on the way over here, so I did put my landing gear down because I might want to set it down. But Perth, when I get to the city of Perth, the first thing I should see is a Home Hardware, I think, is there. Yeah, I've got a warning here. What's that warning? Just that my floats are deployed. So I could bring those floats up again. I'll leave them down. It's not causing me any pain right now. And you can't see the floats in this model, which is odd. Because I think the other model, which is a search and rescue model, you do see the floats. So I recognize that office building right there. It's very accurate. And one of them is a Lazy Boy is the building. It's a Lazy Boy business. But up here, I believe it's Home Hardware. Let me see if I can, maybe I can hover or pause for a second and put up the floats. Get rid of the floats. It's one of the options in the setup menu. Yeah, here's a bunch of storage units that I pass by quite often. think my wife and I hid there once when a bad storm came through. It looked like a tornado was going to hit. And I said, we need to get someplace that's off the road. Okay, we're getting close here. And I did land at the hospital here once, I think, in another video. There we go. This is getting close to Perth. Gotta not hit a tree. Alright, so Perth Motorsport and Marine is right over here. It's not the first building, it's the second building. So the building is, it's not this building or the next building, it's the third building. I think it's the third one, yeah. I know they have the, yeah, they've got a workshop in the back. That's where they do work on the boats and stuff. So that's the building right there. So they could model this a lot better. And as I go up the hill here, there's Home Hardware would be right up here. Home Hardware would be this building right here. Home of the handyman. So this is Home Hardware right here. Right there. I'm going to pause for a second and see if I can put my landing gear down. So I just hit pause, so my landing gear's down. But I want to see if I can get rid of my floats. So what you do here is, if I can remember how to do this, and if I do a setup, I think there's I think if you hit the bar, the main menu bar, in here, I think there was doors and float lights. You used to have it in here somewhere where you could take your floats off. There's autopilot, doors, lights, strobe, position, loco, manual. I was pretty sure that's where they had the floats. Let me go back here again. Setup. Cold and dark, ready for takeoff. Maybe under equipment. Go over here and see if I can. Oh, my floats are still deployed. Yeah, I was pretty sure that's where it was, but I guess it's not. I'm going to go back here and go back to the settings. Here, and I've got this on realistic, so all the fires and everything else is off. So if this failures is off. No, I know they had floats up there. I don't know what the heck is going on. I want to get rid of the damn floats. Manual, auto. I'll just put them on auto. Alright, that's good enough. I'm going to try to land now. Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be a way of getting rid of the floats. I can't remember yet. It's quite a comprehensive cockpit. I usually put this on. I usually put the maps on here. And you can see my pedals moving back and forth. There's my cyclic and collective, and so see if I can land. So I took the pause off now, and I'm just going to go over the parking lot here in front of it. It should be Home Hardware, and see if I can put it down. Not sure if it'll let me or not, but we'll see. If not, thanks for watching my channel. Check power. Didn't mean to crash. Yeah, there. It says you crashed. See, it's not letting me land there. Anyway, I'm JD. Thanks for watching. Hope this was exciting, but it's something to watch when you're bored. So keep tuning into my channel. I got watchmaking videos. I've got flight simulation videos. I've got some music on here, and I've got some comedy and some general entertainment stuff. So I hope you enjoy the channel, and stay tuned for more videos in the future. And if you have a request for me to fly somewhere, let me know.